Meow. Oh my god. I made a decision on a bit of a whim, and so tomorrow I'm doing a 12-hour readathon. Have I thought this through? Not really, but it's fine. I have done a total of 1 readathon in the past. I did a 24 and 36 hour readathon, and I had such a good time, but I can't commit 2 full days to reading right now, and so I'm just gonna do 1. I'm filming this intro bit the day before so that tomorrow I don't need to think about it and I can just read. I have picked out a tentative TBR. I've given myself a few options so I can read whatever I feel like, but let's get straight into that. Firstly, an audiobook. I was thinking for first thing in the morning and then in the evening, or all those times during the day when you kind of can't be reading, like when you're cooking or when you're eating, an audiobook would be necessary. And so I have picked Here We Go Again by Alison Cochrane. I've read 2 of this author's other books. I actually just reread, like yesterday, The Charm Offensive, so I'm ready to go. The reason I really want to do this readathon is because I don't read physical books like ever, and my physical TBR is honestly really stressful. I have way too many unread books, and so I thought if I could knock like 1 out in a day or maybe 2, that would be really cool. The last time I read a physical book was in maybe May, maybe, and that was This Is How You Lose the Time War. So I really haven't read many physical books this year, like maybe 3, 2. It's a problem. The first book that I pulled off my shelf was A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I really thought this would be the book that I'd read tomorrow, but as I continued looking at my shelves, I found a few other options that really excited me, and so I'm not sure about this one, but it is on the TBR because the vibes just feel good. And while I am hoping that it's a sunny day tomorrow like it is today, the forecast is not in my favor. It looks like it's going to be a super cloudy, windy day. So my dreams of going outside to read are like dying by the minute. And this book seems to have kind of like, not quite spooky vibes, but grey, cloudy day vibes. This next book is one I chose because it is short, and that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawajuki. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I bought this book so long ago at this point, but I am obsessed with the vibes. It's got a cat on the cover, it's shiny, and most importantly for this, it's just over 200 pages, which is doable in a day. This is also kind of a collection of short stories. I don't know if they technically are like short stories or if they're all connected in a way that makes them not short stories, but it is broken up in 2 sections, which to me makes it quicker to read because you're able to kind of hit milestones throughout it. Similarly, the last book that I picked off my shelves might be the one I'm most excited about. Welcome to the Hayanam-dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-ryum. Again, I'm sorry for pronunciation. This is maybe like the prettiest book on my shelf. I'm obsessed with this cover. It just immediately looks so cozy. While this book is much longer than Before the Coffee Gets Cold, it is broken down into really small chapters, I guess. I don't know if they are chapters, what exactly the breakdown is, but it does have a contents page, which is always exciting. And each chapter is like 10 pages or less, which gives me such a sense of achievement so I can keep speeding through it. I do really think this is what I'm gonna pick up tomorrow. I just realized how weird it looks in the viewfinder. My chair looks really small behind me. That's because I'm sitting right on the edge because my cat is sitting on the chair and I didn't want to disturb her. So let me show you. She is perfect. But yes, that is the TBR. I am really excited. I haven't read in a long time. That sounds sad. I really haven't dedicated any time to reading lately other than listening to audiobooks. I'm honestly a little bit nervous about it, but I do really want to start reading physical books again. I miss it so much. I just want to be able to like pick up a book before bed and like read a little bit and go to sleep instead of rotting my brain on TikTok. I don't know what the 12 hours are gonna be. I was thinking 7 to 7, then I realized that would mean like being awake and functioning at 7. So no, it's probably gonna be 8 to 8, might be 9 to 9. I'll decide tomorrow. I probably won't speak to you early in the morning or probably in the evening, and then I'll be back to recap and reflect. But with that said, I will see you tomorrow. Hello. A lot has happened since you last saw me. I actually am filming this for the second time because my camera, I don't know what happened to it, but it started beeping. I'm kind of scared, but I don't know if I mentioned that I've been really anxious lately, but I've been really anxious lately, and last night I had the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life, to the point where I was seriously considering calling an ambulance because it felt different this time, and what if it's a heart attack, and overall bad time, which led me to having a rough night of sleep. And this morning has been its own issue. But because of all of that, I do think it's probably for the best that I kept today kind of free to just read. I don't think I can handle much today, so I think sitting around reading is probably for the best. I have a bunch of other things I'd like to do. I have some beans soaking to be planted in the garden, and they can't really stay soaking, they kind of need to be planted, so I want to get into the garden, but I've got nothing right now. I have no energy. I feel scooped out and empty. And then this morning I went to make my coffee, and I thought, you know, use decaf, mixed it in. It took a bit more mixing. I always have an iced coffee and I blend the ice, put it on the blender, and I was like, why is it struggling with the ice so much? It wasn't struggling with the ice. I left the spoon in there. I blended a spoon, and so I had to dump the coffee because metal shavings. It's been a rough morning and a rough night, and I just want to read and pretend the real world doesn't exist. I am going to have my coffee, have my breakfast. I have started the audiobook. Can you see that? I've started the audiobook. I'm maybe an hour and a half through. I've got 10.5 hours left on that, so we'll see. I started the audiobook at around 8, so we're gonna go 8 till 8. I can already feel that I'm probably not gonna speak a lot in this video. I'll probably end up doing voiceover because today I just need to not, so. I'm gonna be honest, I do really just want to go back to bed. I want to go to bed and I want to curl up under a blanket with my cat. And honestly, I just want to put the TV on or something, but I also want to have my eyes closed, so maybe an audiobook is the best option. I was planning on like cooking a nice lunch and showing you that, and I think at this point I'm gonna order something because I've got nothing to give. So sorry to really tone down the fun affair of a readathon, but mental health, am I right? Yay. As I was putting my makeup on this morning, which I wasn't going to do because frankly, I don't care right now, but I did it anyway. And I looked in the mirror and just thought, wow, you can't even tell that I didn't want to sleep last night because I was convinced I was going to die in my sleep. So that's where we're at right now. All right, I'm gonna go put this audiobook on. The story's just kind of starting. I already really like both main characters. They're different people and I like both of them. I also like the other kind of important character that was introduced. I am already sad. I imagine I'm going to cry a lot during this book, but also have a good time. I'll see you later.
Please do not discuss my diapers in Nick's company, Rosemary. This is the worst idea she's ever had. All the laminated maps and first aid training couldn't adequately prepare her for spending 5 days trapped in a car with...
Okay, I've put my overalls on and I'm gonna go garden a bit while I'm feeling like I could. I found out that one of my friends is currently reading the same book that I'm listening to, which is fun. I love when I'm reading the same thing as my friends. But yeah, I'm going to go plant some beans and probably cut some broccolini because I used a bunch of what I already had last night, so let's go. hello. Okay, meow. I am back inside. I got everything planted. I picked a good bunch of broccolini. It was about 250 grams worth, which is pretty good. I need to take these overalls off. I'm getting very warm now, coming into the heater after being outside. My cat is here, very excited that I'm back. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Give me 2 seconds, baby. Okay, are you gonna let me sit down? Come over. Yeah, let me sit and then you can sit on my lap. Come. There we go. Yeah? Meow. You're so cute. Okay, I am 4 hours into this audiobook. I'm really enjoying it. Meow. I'm feeling better than I was before. I think a mix of just being outside, the very gentle movement of gardening, and just hearing the birds, honestly. They were jumping around. I tried to get a video, but by the time I moved the camera, they flew away. I'm really enjoying the book. It's very, I was gonna say sweet, but it's not sweet. The two main characters are just at each other's throat the whole time, and I'm having a great time with it. I'm tired. I'm also very warm right now. I feel like I already said that. I'm actually having trouble speaking. My words are getting very jumbled in my mouth, but that often happens after a lot of anxiety for me. Oh, hi. Oh, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, meow. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I kind of want to keep listening to this audiobook. I might switch to a physical book for a little bit. I just kind of want to lie down. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I should clean the kitchen. I left it a mess last night because I started feeling like I was falling apart. It's not too bad. The dishes are done. There's just some stuff out and I can't be bothered dealing with it right now. I should also vacuum. Not going to. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might pull out a craft. I don't know. I'm just so tired. I can't think straight right now. So for now, I'm just gonna put this audiobook back on. I honestly might have it going till like lunch. It's currently 11:15. I just got a severe weather warning. It's meant to be very windy. That's why I decided to put I was gonna call them seedlings. They're not seedlings. I decided to put the beans in the little greenhouse we've got because I'm planting them a bit late. And then I strapped it to the deck because it's meant to be really windy and I don't want the whole thing to blow away. I was actually going to take it down so it would be in the sun. But even carrying it, the wind was catching it and nearly ripping it out of my hands. So yeah, it's not going down there. But my battery light is flashing, so I'm gonna go and I will see you later. I am halfway through the audiobook. It is 12:03. My lunch is here. I was kind of planning on eating and then just kind of laying in bed. But I've realized this is not one of the days where I can just kind of be still for very long. And so instead, for the past little bit, I cleaned the kitchen. I got the dishwasher going. I am doing my laundry, my washing, even though I wasn't planning on doing that today. I didn't even have the vague intention of doing that today, but I've got one load going and there's another load to do. So I'm gonna eat and then probably settle on the couch, maybe with a physical book. I would like to read maybe before the coffee gets cold, but I'm really enjoying this audiobook, so I might just keep listening to it till it's done. I have upped the speed. I was on, I think, 1.7, and now I am on 2.4, so we're speeding up. But I'm having a really good time. I am on chapter 21. But yes, I'm going to eat my entire loaf of bread, and yeah, really strange that we are all like Subway is a normal thing to eat when it's just a whole loaf of bread. I'm not complaining. I love bread. Let's go. Subway smells so good. There is a loose beetroot. I guess I'll just eat it. Did they not cut it? They didn't cut it. They gave me just a whole foot long in a single piece. Okay. Alright. I'll see you later. crying. Oh my god. It is 2:30 and I just finished Here We Go Again. I haven't cried that much listening to a book, reading a book in a long time. I think I was crying for like a solid hour towards the end. Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed that book, but I mean, it was good and I'm so sad. Like, oh my god, I'm covered in tears right now and my glasses are salty. Oh, I wanted to read to like feel better today and I just cried for so long. I have enjoyed every book from this author. Alison Cochrane is very quickly becoming one of my, I guess, instant buy authors. I mean, she kind of was straight after I read The Charm Offensive. But The Charm Offensive, Kiss Her Once For Me, Here We Go Again, they're all so good. But now that I've finished one book, I need to decide what to do next. The problem with readathons is that you have to move on straight away to the next story. But sometimes you read a really good book and you want to sit with it for a while. But according to the plan of reading as much as you can in a day, no, just keep moving forward. Oh, I feel so emotionally wrecked. That was really good. That was really good. What am I gonna read next? I have this stack of books that I picked out yesterday. I really don't know what I want to read. I don't want to rely on audiobooks all day. The point of this was to kind of get me reading a physical book again. I think I'm gonna read the blurbs of all of these and decide. I don't think I'll finish any of these other than maybe before the coffee gets cold, but I don't want to read this just because I could finish it today, if that makes any sense. I want to read what I want to read, but I don't know what I want to read. So I'm gonna read, oh my god, I'm going to read the blurbs of all of these books and pick one. I really do dislike the way that a lot of books have like reviews on the back instead of a blurb. There is still a blurb on the inside cover, but just put it on the back. This seems interesting, but maybe hard to get into right now. I don't know, maybe it's exactly what I want. Something that's like got intrigue to it. I fear that both of these are way too real life, if that makes any sense. I know this is like time travel or something, but after finishing Here We Go Again, I don't know if I can deal with being more emotional. And by the mere premise of this book, I think I will be super emotional. And I feel like this one's gonna like lead to way too much introspection, and frankly, don't want to do that right now. So I guess that answers the question for me. I could look at my shelves and pick other things, but I guess I'll just stick to this for now. I think if I can get a bunch of this read today, even if I don't finish it, I can finish it over the next few nights maybe, get into reading before bed like I so badly want to. I'm gonna jump in and hopefully make some good progress. Not the next day, it is actually a few weeks later. I just got around to editing this video and realized I never filmed that next day portion, so I've got another decaf iced coffee without a spoon this time. But let's wrap this up. Let's talk about how my day went. The plan was completely thrown off because of my mental health. That is not something I anticipated happening, but it did, and I worked with it. I spent most of the day listening to an audiobook, Here We Go Again by Alison Cochrane. That book was incredible. I have been thinking about it constantly. I really enjoyed it. I think that author has become one of my favorites, which is crazy. I never have new favorites, but every book of hers has just been so good. Here We Go Again was genuinely so incredible. So sad, but not in like a troubling way. It just made me feel so much. And I was already in a pretty vulnerable state, so I was like very ready to feel emotion. I can tell you that the beans I planted have started sprouting. Very excited. Here's a clip of the beans. They are still in their greenhouse. Not all of them have started, not all of them probably will. I'm sure some of them will just never grow, but it is really exciting to plant something and then see it grow. That might sound silly, but It's very satisfying. The rest of the garden is also doing really well, if you were wondering. While I was cooking dinner, I was talking to the camera for a bit, but ended up cutting it out because the audio was really bad. But in that section, I ranked Alison Cochrane's books according to my experience with them. I think that The Charm Offensive is at the top of the list just because the premise is so good. It's so like juicy to me. The idea of this fantasy bachelor show and a producer, it's just, I eat that up. And so it is probably my favorite one. I've also read it like 3 times, and so I'm much more familiar with it. But Here We Go Again is definitely number 2. It was so good. I can't talk about it in any kind of like analytical way because all I want to keep saying is just it was so good, because it really was just so good. Kiss Her Once for Me was also really good, but I read it in like May and it's a Christmas book, and so I think it just didn't hit me the way it could have. I still really enjoyed it. There is a scene at the end that I just think about like really often. But yeah, this author has become one of my favorites and I'm so happy about it. But moving on to the other book that I read or started, A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I read up to chapter 4 and that's where it has stayed. I do think I want to continue it. I just haven't really been reading much lately. I haven't read a book since I did this. I am not gonna lie to you, I've just been reading a lot of fan fiction. I feel like I'm saying this all the time. I've just been in such a fan fiction mood. I was gonna say lately, but I do mean all year. So what does lately really mean? But I think I might actually pick up the audiobook for this. I don't think I was expecting it to be what it is. I don't know really what I was expecting, but it's a lot more like fantasy than I expected. I don't know. The story is only just kind of starting. Effie has just been let into the guest room or whatever. Yeah, I do think the audiobook will help me get through it a little faster and smoother. But yeah, I'm excited to finish it. I've heard so many good things, and so like I want to be a part of that. I want to know what everyone's talking about. You can't see this book because of the sun. Filming early in the morning is great, except the angle of the light means I have to be way back in the chair because this happens. And so when I hold things up, you can't really see them. I really enjoy doing readathons. This one wasn't what I wanted it to be, and so I might do another one sometime soon. I like the idea of, rather than doing necessarily a readathon, doing a reading vlog, maybe over a week or so. But that's all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I did have fun. I think it's really interesting to see the effects of my anxiety very physically in me in this video. The day before, I was fine, my normal self, and then that next morning, it's like I was a different person, and slowly as the day went on, I came back to myself, which, like, I know that's how it works, but seeing it so clearly is insane. I'm glad I made this video because it meant I pushed myself a little bit after such a rough night and helped myself feel a bit better. If you liked this video, you can give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you'd like to see another one of these or a different structure of reading vlog or readathon, whether that is a 24-hour readathon, a 24 and 36, maybe something week-long, or following the journey of reading a specific book. Let me know. If you've stuck through this whole video, thank you so much. You can subscribe, I upload every week, and I will see you next time. Bye.